you want to talk about whether or not you think Xaden can read Violet's thoughts.
Previously on Don't Tell the Boys.
There's just been instances where he'll say something or react in some way that I'm like, you could only know that if you're in her head.
You don't think he's intrinsic then?
No, I haven't. Hold on. I hadn't
Just
thought about
clarify.
that.
I'm seeing evidence for and against it because I see what you're seeing too. If he's been able to read her thoughts this whole time and not told her, that's a massive violation.
I don't know. In my brain, it makes sense. I'm convinced.
Your prediction comes true. Xaden and Violet can talk in their heads.
Woo!
Happily.
Yeah.
It appears to need to be consensual. I don't want somebody reading Violet's thoughts without her knowledge. I can't be less angry at Xaden for that than it would have been at Dain for reading her memories. I found myself wondering whether he was intrinsic at one point.
Yeah.
But we haven't had anybody say that you can have more than one power.
But technically, Violet has two.
Yeah, but she's got 2 dragons.
True.
I've assumed that everybody only has the one. And so I'm going to continue to assume that.
Yeah.
So we're going to say up until this point that he's not been reading her thoughts, but they can communicate.
But they can, yeah. Imagine. It feels weird, you know, when like I don't speak to you during like in the morning. Like I felt really strange yesterday because I was like, I feel like I should be on the phone to Jessica right now.
I know. I cancelled them all and I was like, this is weird as heck.
I know. And then after tomorrow, I'm not gonna actually see you until Tuesday.
You won't be waking up until like 2 p.m. either.
Oh my god. I'm not looking forward to the hangovers. I'm excited. Excited. No, I actually haven't read a book by the pool in so freaking long. I'm excited to just get through the last set of chapters.
Are you excited to finish it, or are you excited that it's going to be over?
I'm excited it's going to be over for now, just because I feel like once again these last 10 chapters kind of just dragged until the last like 3, and they were like 30 minutes long, at least in my reading speed. So yeah, I do feel like we've got loads to talk about, but also at the same time not, you know.
I totally agree. I feel like, so just to clarify, Tammy and I have been miscounting this entire time, and we at some point thought there was 55 chapters when there's 66. I don't know. We must have known at some point and then just got it wrong and misremembered it from there on out.
Yeah.
So we've been miscounting. So I thought I was finishing this episode, and I basically therefore wasn't counting the chapters I was reading, because I was like, it will just end. And then I started to be like, this is a bit weird. This is still going.
Yeah.
And I realized I was on chapter 58. And then I looked and I was like, oh shit, there's 66 chapters. So we've read more chapters than we intended to, but at the same time, and so much has happened, but at the same time, there's really only one thing that matters.
Oh, go on. I would love to know what.
Really? You think more than one thing matters in the last set of chapters we've read? Like, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so keen to hear what you've got to say. Go on. What mattered to you?
Should we just get into the news?
Yeah,
then...
let's get into the news, and then I really want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Obviously, like, the ward is important, meeting the mum, you know, Lilith finding out about Brennan, but Xaden is, like, my big topic.
Yeah, there's only one thing that actually matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It has eclipsed everything else. Okay, I'm just going to go and get my newsreader glasses
Oh yeah.
because that's the one thing I forgot. And then we
Fine.
shall kick this thing off.
Yes.
I'm also wearing the world's shortest dress today, and I sat down and was like, why did I think this is a good idea? It's too hot to put the blanket on, so you're just going to have to tell me if you can see it all.
No, you're good. Now that I've cut my hair, all the little layers just kind of like, yeah, this is as high.
Pineappling.
Yeah, it really is. There's nothing else I can do about it.
I was going to get to see the full new do, but you've top knotted it already.
Oh, because it's dirty, but I'm only washing it tomorrow. Because, fucking hell, I need to be awake. So I booked a taxi for 3:30 in the morning on Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to see tomorrow. I was like, ugh.
No, not tomorrow. But I will be in bed by 7 tomorrow. So if I don't send you any messages past 6:30, I'm not dead. I'm just asleep.
It's fine. I'll just expect to load back at like 5 a.m.
5 a.m. 100%. I'll be at the airport like, look at this.
You'll be sitting there with fuck all to do with a Bloody Mary and just like, oh, memes.
Yeah, literally. I've been trying to think about like how I'm going to do it. Am I going to have a coffee at the airport and not sleep on the plane? Okay, no, pardon me. But read on the plane, because I think it's like a 2-hour plane ride.
Yeah.
I've lost my headphones. I have no idea where they are, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I have to read. You know?
True. Yeah. But also, you could get an audiobook downloaded, find your headphones, and then you can have 2 on the go.
I am listening to Quicksilver, but I also have Quicksilver as a book format, so win-win.
Nice, you can switch it up.
Yeah. I just need to make sure I know where I'm at in the audiobook compared to the book itself. But I think we should get into the news.
Yes, actually do look really newsreadery
You
today.
do.
I wasn't even trying, but here we go.
Yes.
Here we go. You're welcome, internet. You're welcome.
Oh, I need to time you?
Yeah, time me. I reckon I'll go slightly over, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, no worries. Right. That's perfect. Last episode, I timed you for 1 second instead of 1 minute, and then I had to quickly restart as you started. I didn't want to tell you to start again. Right, okay.
Ready?
Ready.
This is Don't Tell the Boys News, and here are today's headlines. Violet and Xaden make up, and Xaden goes down on her on his throne. Pause the stopwatch. Was this too?
Oh my god, that is so good. That is headline
It's funny
worthy.
because the boys behind me, and as I said it, like I just had a weird like out of body breaks fourth wall moment where I was like, oh my god, I just said that out loud. Ready?
Ready.
Violet and Xaden make up, and Xaden goes down on her on his throne. I trusted it out afterwards, and I keep
Let's start
tripping
again.
over it. Right.
Again.
I'm gonna say it for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
Just 3rd time's the charm.
Okay, you've got
Violet and Xaden make up, and Xaden goes down on her on his throne. Violet and Kat's squad suffused. Violet starts working with Dain to translate text for the Wardstone. They partially repair their friendship. Violet works on learning to control her power while news arrives of the Venons advancing. Violet is able to translate that it's not blood needed for the Wardstone, but dragonfire. She tells her squad, including the Flyers, in good faith and to demonstrate trust. Violet's nightmares continue, with the Venom telling her she will turn to their side for love. During a training exercise, Violet is attacked by Solus. Violet blinds him, saves Kat's life, and Kat protects her in return. Sloane manifests as a siphon, and Undana kills Solus. Xaden fights Violet about a decision to protect Kat. They bring up all the issues that have festered, and Violet deduces that Xaden has been hiding a second signet, and Xaden is shocked into silence. They receive word of Venom approaching. They raise the wards and see them off. Violet deduces that Xaden is Tinsic, and he confesses. They both wonder if Violet is falling out of love with him. They meet with Malgren, who requests their aid in a fight Navarre will lose, but they refuse. General Sgaeyl learns Brennan lives and gives them Lyra's journal, telling them they need to fix issues with their wards.
Yeah, you went over just a little bit. I literally, as you read those out, I realized, yeah, so much has happened, but like, there's not much to discuss apart from that one main point.
Yeah. So let's commence the trial of Xaden Riorson versus the people.
Oh my god. Iconic.
Yeah, the glasses are off and now I'm a lawyer.
She changed his personality just like that.
Yeah, so we didn't really have, because obviously you were squeezing your reading in this weekend. So we didn't really have time to prepare a case, but I was going to suggest that I'm the prosecution and you're the defense.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought it would be fun. But I'm wondering whether we can just riff that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is I will lay out the case against him. And
I have points back to season 1 that I made back in season 1.
I know.
I am so excited. Let's go.
So I do also have to laugh at the fact that both you and I at different points in the first book both suspected him of this.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh so much.
Yeah.
That this is how it happened. And also the way it was delivered as well. I didn't realize at all what Violet was getting at in the cave. I thought that when she realized something and she was like, oh my God, what if? I thought she was worried that he had yet to manifest one. And so he was going to go insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when she actually sprung it on him, I was like, oh. And then immediately suspected it was that.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna start. Remember when back in season 1, back in Fourth Wing, we know that they're talking via their little minds because the font changes. And there's I can't remember what, where, or when it was, but I remember
that was
speaking about it.
One of us pointed it out. Yeah.
That the font didn't change, and I was like, that there is a reason why this didn't change, because he replies to her thought, but her thought was in normal font.
Yeah, but she doesn't say it.
Yeah. It's just
and also,
a thought.
Well, I mean, we need answers. Like, we need answers. But also, so his type of intrinsic ability is meant to be that he reads motivations, right?
Yeah, like intentions.
Like not actual thoughts. So she might be like she might see a cheese sandwich and be like, I'm going to eat that. And he knows that she's going to try and eat it.
Yeah.
But he's not going to hear her say the words, I'm going to eat that cheese sandwich.
Yeah. But when have you ever thought about anything without intention?
Well, we've had a conversation before about this, and you said that you think with a voice.
Yeah.
Or maybe you read in your head. I said I don't.
I talk to myself all the time. Like, trying to remember things. Like, me and my little voice in my head are like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I feel like... Yeah.
It feels like it's splitting hairs a little bit, huh?
Yeah. It's mental. Like, I can't...
It's mental.
It is mental.
It is, yeah.
I was a little bit flabbergasted by the whole situation and how she found out. And it was another scene where I could actually, like, visually see them both, like, in the TV show. Like, having that go, and he's like, stop it, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I also, in my mind, it was like a proper, like, Bella Edward moment where she was like, you never eat.
Oh no.
You're really fast. And he's like, stop it.
Oh no, I can't believe you just compared it to Twilight. But totally see it. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
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 let me lay out my case.
Go on.
Let me lay out my case. And I guess, this is like a judgment for whether or not Violet should stay with him kind of case. Because I'm not arguing that he should be killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was like, how serious are we going to make this? I'm not going to argue that he should be killed like all intrinsics are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to argue that like he should be imprisoned or anything like that, because we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So here is my case.
Go on.
And I wrote it down on the bus on the way home because I was thinking about it.
I love that.
So I want you to like come up with counterpoints to this.
Okay.
Because I guess it's also kind of our favorite topic of are Dain and Xaden actually any different, or do we treat them different? Because obviously that has to come up again, right?
Yeah.
That has to.
Yeah. And
So-
it kind of did, I guess, but yeah. Yeah.
Kind of did. I think my lighting's still a little bright, so I'm going to dim it a little. Or is it something else?
No,
Oh, it's
there
my
you
phone light. That's why. Right, okay. Right,
Yeah.
so just
Turn
have a
your
little,
brightness down.
horror light. It's so down.
Oh.
It's like so down. Right. Here we go. So I also added a note here saying Violet got that full disclosure she wanted.
Finally.
Fucking
Yeah.
finally. But then I also put, has Xaden always had full disclosure from her this whole time? Because, you know, well, there's going to be a lot of double standard talk here, and a lot of my prosecution really hinges on the fact that, like, Xaden does not reciprocate what he gets, I guess. So with his ability, and I know he said that he's not read her intentions since.
Yeah.
Was it when they kissed, or was it Riorson?
I thought it was when,
I
like,
forget.
when they kissed, when he realized that, like, he was in love with her.
Yeah, but he also said and he realized he was just as bad as Dain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. We'll have to fact check that because I think that's quite important. But yeah, he also says that it's quite hard not to read her mind because
of the
she's just very open and they have a connection.
Yeah.
So I also kind of I'm feeling like that's maybe a little convenient loophole. But anyway, my sense is that he's always fully known Violet and her intentions. She's everything about her, even when you're not reading her mind, it's all over her face. She's very emotionally open, always has been. What you see is what you get. That's not true, Xaden.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking back to, like, the first time they met, like, at the parapet. The first time he saw her.
I know. And that's why we didn't get those POV chapters now. Because he would have just been reading her intentions at that point. He like, so he's admitted to, we'll get to it.
Right.
We'll get to it. So, yeah. So my first point is literally just, Violet got the full disclosure she wanted now.
Yeah.
But has Xaden had full disclosure from her the whole time, and he just hasn't been given what she, like, he hasn't been giving her that in return. My next point is, I guess I would say, like, would you still love him in this situation? Because I think, and that's not me saying, like, leading and saying you should or shouldn't, just genuinely wondering what, like, if you were in his position, would you still love him? Because Xaden obviously believes that this is unforgivable. Both, not just his power as something that is generally feared and taboo, but also that, like, also what he's done with it where Violet is concerned up until this point. Like, he knows he's done some pretty bad shit with it, and he clearly thinks that that he doesn't deserve her as it is. So there's also a point not in his favor so much.
I don't know. I feel like, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in more detail, but I think at this point we just have to trust him that he's telling the truth, that he did stop, you know, when he realized that you know, he was in love with her.
I thought you'd say that. So there's no doubt that he is in love with her. I don't doubt it for a second. He's in love with her. He'd do anything for her and to keep her alive. That much is obvious. So I guess I'm saying, yeah, sure. Does that mean that all the rest of it just ceases to matter and that Violet should just get over it?
I see, no. Because to say it would be so hypocritical of Violet to put Dain through what she did, like what she's putting him through. And this isn't me this isn't me defending Dain, by the way. This is just me being like, actually, no, it's time we start holding them both accountable because this changes everything.
Dain is doing his time.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's time for Xaden to do the same. And also, I like to point out that it's not just Xaden's betrayal to Violet, it's Sgaeyl's betrayal to Tairn too.
Yeah, I know.
Which is even worse because they're mates.
So you said that at this point we just have to trust Xaden, that he never did it. I think that's interesting in itself though, because can she trust that?
No,
can she trust that?
Not.
Like, can she actually ever trust him again? That's one of the points I put down. Like, given the choices he's made up until this point. So not only has he admitted to the same violation of Violet that Dain committed.
Yep.
But he was also never planning to come clean about it. And he can never be policed. You can't tell. He doesn't have to put his hands on her face. Like, she can never know.
I think the hardest part is that she will always have to have her guard, her brain guarding, whatever the fuck it's called, up.
Her shielding
up. But then that beats the whole point of them having a connection and being able to talk to each other. Do you know what I mean? Because they're connected.
Yeah, like trust is essential in a relationship, right? But Xaden has just made it impossible for her to trust him again.
But I'm thinking of like in the sense of they are connected because their dragons are mates. And they've got this mind link because their dragons are mates. You can't be like, if you die, I die kind of vibe. And then hide such a massive secret that could basically get you both killed.
Yet again, Xaden says and proves that he will do anything he can to keep Violet safe, except give her the tools to do so on her own.
Yeah, he's not giving her the option to basically choose her fate.
Yeah. He withholds vital information from her. And she says, please tell me you never like manipulated my feelings towards you or anything like that. Maybe not using his power. Maybe not. But he's certainly manipulated the knowledge she's had access to, and I'm pretty sure that we hate Navarre for that from book one. I just think I also do think that if we're going to hold Dain and Xaden equally accountable, I think you and I were clutching our pearls pretty hard at the concept of the consent involved. It wasn't just about the results of his actions and Bresson and Liam. It was the basic concept of taking her memories without her consent, without her knowledge. And I think it would be quite hard for us to turn around at this point and be like, oh, but it's fine when Xaden does it.
But I feel like so far we kind of been up and down in terms of how we feel about Xaden. I know it's been hard at times, but I do feel like there has been times where we've not really agreed with what he's done and what he's been doing. And in some ways, I really hope that Violet doesn't forgive him this time so easily. And I know, and I just don't want this drama to be brought into the next book, because I feel like this whole book has been her asking him to trust her and tell her information and like give her so that she doesn't have to ask. And he was just really fucking shitty about it. Like, the whole...
Yeah.
Even the whole thing that, like, he's basically known that she wanted to ask about her mum, like, the deal that he made with her mum. But he didn't bring it up. Like, why does she have to ask? Why can't you just be like, by the way, this is what's happened? Why does she need to ask?
Why does she have to be responsible for initiating every difficult emotional conversation?
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, I know Xaden's done it.
Yeah.
But every single time he's thrown it in her face that it should have been her to do it, and that he was forced to. And that really annoys me.
Yeah. I'm so angry.
Just like, it takes two. It takes two.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Xaden's not getting. And also,
go on.
He's getting it a bit more than he says, because he's this entire time he's really been relying on that defense of, you need to be able to ask me, I'll answer any question you ask. But he never thought she'd ask that question, and that's why he's put that rule there. It's a little, I think, like a little thing to kind of convince himself that it's okay that he's not shared it.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he's safe there. She'll never ask that.
In some ways, and this isn't me like fully defending him. In some ways, I kind of understand why he wouldn't tell her. Obviously, death is a big fucking thing. But I think for someone who keeps asking Violet to trust him, and that, like, she needs to trust him, and that, all of this whole book, and then for that to be what we find out, like
damn near the finale.
I think this is why I'm so annoyed, is because it feels like a complete waste of time. At the same time, like, it just feels like I've read a load of waffle to find something out that we already thought was the case anyway back in book 1.
Yeah, and I admit we gave up on that one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're ever able to fully rule it out, but I do also think that because there was just nothing, it wasn't continued. So we were just like, all right, that's got to go somewhere. We can't keep talking about this.
Yeah.
I think I totally agree, because it feels like all the progress that they've made has just been washed away.
Yeah, yeah.
And we spent most of the book really with that being the main thing, the fact that their relationship is on the rocks.
Yeah.
So to have something this late in the day to just like pull apart all the progress that has been made and the growth, like, it's annoying, isn't it?
It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
I was gonna ask, because I obviously understand him not telling her straight away when they met.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
I understand that. But obviously, the point at which she's now found out is too late. So when is the right time? When was the right time for him to tell her this?
Ooh. See, I think the moment that he started to open up to her about what was going on, and that they were sneaking weapons out, and because at that point she was like, obviously she was like in love with him already, but again, it's hard because trust is such a big issue with these two. But I think he should have taken the plunge, because at that point he wanted to say I love you too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he should have told her then, like, oh, and by the way, my second signet, or I do have a second signet that allows me to do this, that helps me to do this. And that's why I know, like, I think that would have been the perfect opportunity. But then
I think
you risk Dain finding out, because if Dain, we had other points where Dain was in her head. So I don't know. I really
but
don't
you
know.
can't always use that as an excuse. You can't always use that as an excuse.
I think if we didn't know about Dain, it would have, for me at least, it would have been at that point.
For me, I think it would have been before they left Aretia at the start of this book.
Ooh. Yeah.
Frankly, when I put it there on the timeline, my brain then goes, okay, so about the time she requested full disclosure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would stand by what I said back then, which is that I don't think full disclosure is fair or possible, but I understand her need for it. However, we've just established that he doesn't really have to ever ask for that. So,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of think he already knew then that he was in love with her. He just watched her nearly be dead for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Like, you should have said something.
He promises to regain her trust, no matter what it takes. That probably would have been
the perfect
before
time.
they came back. I think that would have been the right time, personally.
Just to be
because any time
by the
after
way.
that, any time after that, he's kind of left it a while, and that's going to show. She's going to think about that. But still better than this scenario where she's had to force it out of him and find out on her own, which is the worst possible scenario.
Yeah.
You know, they barely get 10 minutes together after this. You know, they're still trying to work through everything else.
Yeah. Which
there's all this
seems
drama
to
happening
also be a common theme. Like, they can't finish an argument because something is always going on.
It's so dramatic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that before they left Aretia would have been great. I did also have a note to myself here, which I guess is that I finally got what I wanted, which is for Xaden not to be taking her love for granted for the first time. For the first time, we're now seeing him actually afraid that she might not just get over it this time.
Yeah, it's taken us a lot to get here, but I like that he's realized that she's not just gonna sit around, but like accept this relationship. Do you know what I mean? And then, but then I also like that Violet was basically asking herself, you know, can you love somebody and not want to be with them? And even if they did break up, it would be horrible. But I mean, obviously they'll end up together at some point, but I'd want him to suffer. I need him to suffer at this point. Like, I need him to maybe not even lose her, obviously, but like, I need
but just understand that she's at stake. Like, I know that he clearly does when it comes to like her life. I know that. I'm not denying that. But yeah, I've been annoyed at multiple times in this book where he has just taken for granted and been like, yeah, I know you still love me. I know you still love me. And it's like, just, that's annoying. Take what she's saying seriously. Understand what's at stake, and that's her affection for you. And also, it's annoying because I know that he's saying he's not read her intentions, but my first thought was, that's why you were so fucking cocky about it. That's why you were not worried. Because you knew that she didn't have the intention to leave you. So I'm like, I don't know. Can I trust you? I don't know, honestly.
So this is a big hear me out, because one of the reasons why I didn't like the way that the whole Cat and Violet on the mat sort of situation ended, and it ended with him sort of obviously pulling Violet and leading her to his throne and so on.
Yeah.
I feel like in that moment, Violet was about to ask him all of these questions, and he kind of just used like sexual pleasure to avoid that conversation.
Yes. Yeah,
that
I was
really
actually
annoyed me.
Okay, this is a hear you out, because that scene is like the most famous scene in the book. I'd seen the throne scene referenced multiple times on Instagram, everywhere, without knowing what it actually was. And now I know. That's supposed to be like the hottest scene in the book. And I'll be honest, it could just be because you and I have got ourselves worked up here. But I spent the entire time livid that they were not just having a proper conversation about it.
No, yeah, 100%. When I was reading that scene, I was like, wait, no, hold on. You can't just, he can't just batter his eyelashes at you, and you just forget everything that's just happened. Your life was on the line. You found out that he's been lying to you. Why are we here?
Engaged.
Exactly. Why are we here once again?
You were publicly humiliated with that information.
Exactly.
In front of everyone. And you nearly killed her for it.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, nothing I can say will fix that right now. So this is what I'll do to prove it to you or whatever. And it's like, actually, no, how about you just try?
Literally.
How about you just try telling her?
Yeah. No. And that really annoyed me, because I was like, excuse me, that's kind of like really manipulative from your end. Like, you can't say to her, ask me these questions, and then manipulate her when she is going to, when you know she's going to, because she was livid.
Afterwards, he told her off.
Yeah, exactly. It made no sense.
I'm feeling jealous.
Like, hello.
It's me.
And then like her feelings just went completely out the window, and her feelings weren't valid at all. But
yeah,
he was angry because she was jealous. Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're angry because she's jealous. Oh, poor you. It's not like you were engaged and didn't tell her.
Duh. Oh, yeah.
Another thing that you just were hoping you'd never have to tell her. There's a pattern.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting really mad now. I keep dragging it back up. I did have one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
In the last episode, I think it was, you brought up how you'd not been aware that Imogen had the ability to erase memories. And you said specifically that you felt that it made her untrustworthy.
Yeah. I don't trust anyone at this point.
Would you, like, do you now feel the same way about Xaden simply because of the nature of his power? It was an interesting one for me because when you said that, I was like, okay, she has that ability, but it's
how
you're afraid of the potential of how she might use it.
Yeah.
She's still the same person, so is she trustworthy or not? And I guess I just wondered whether it gave you the same feeling.
With Imogen, I mean, obviously you would never know if she actually erased your memory or not anyway. But I think Imogen's actions has always been positive when it mattered, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas with Xaden, we know what he's like. He's literally uses his power to get what he wants. And okay, he's so far he's done it to help his people.
Yeah.
But how far will he go? But also he's also made it clear in the past that if he ever came to his people and Violet, he would choose Violet. So
no,
I don't know. I don't trust him. I at the minute I don't trust him.
I also had the thought of like, and this is me considering the possible defense here.
Okay.
Yes, the way that Dain used his powers, definitely resulted in some terrible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That he's now having to deal with the consequences of his actions. And I wouldn't say any of Xaden's choices have led to anything similar for Violet thus far. But I did also have to accept that she got lucky with that, because if Xaden didn't like what her intentions had been that night under the tree, he'd have killed her then. So she got really lucky.
Yeah. Exactly.
Liking the episode? Let us know how we're doing in the comments below. But please, no spoilers. And don't forget, you can find us at don'ttell_theboys on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. We're all over the place. Make sure to follow us to stay updated with your new book besties.
I don't know if I actually said this or not, but I feel like when she first fell in love with him, I almost felt like what maybe he was attracted to most in her was the fact that she liked him.
Mm-hmm.
despite everything, she had him on a pedestal. She
Yeah.
didn't care about any of his red flags,
Yeah.
of which he had many, and he knew. She
Yeah.
didn't care about what he might have done, and he wanted her to keep looking at him like that. And this is maybe why he's afraid that she won't love him now that she knows who he truly is.
Yeah.
And I think there's some truth to that. And the other thing is, I also think the reason why he loves her is because she's so hapless. I called her hapless loads of times in the past. Naive, like she just is an open book. And this is why it never would have worked between me and Xaden. I've got too many self-defense mechanisms in place. I protect myself. I'm not naturally trusting.
Yeah.
I do suspect people for the worst a lot of the time. So he probably killed me under the tree, frankly. But he liked that she had almost like no mental defenses. What she thought was what she said.
Yeah.
And I get that now. I get that might be why he likes her, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he's the best thing for her.
No, because and then I feel like, okay, there's one thing that I wouldn't want this to happen in the next book is for Dain to find out that Violet and Xaden aren't in a good place. And then this whole triangle between them three come back to be like a thing because Dain was start.
I wouldn't mind.
Awful.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a bit of fun. I'd be up for it. I think it'd be a different kind of drama that might lead to some moments where we're like, I could do with that. At this point, it would feel like a palate cleanser. What I don't want is for Violet to just get over it at the end of this book so that they can decide to move forward together and be like star-crossed lovers. She just moves on.
Yeah.
And then for Dain to have to find out in the next book that she just let it go with Xaden, but she's still punishing him.
Oh, yeah.
That would be shitty. I actually would agree.
Yeah.
I think that would be really shitty.
No, I do agree. The one thing that I don't want, and I think is because I know it's not the end of the book, but I've not enjoyed it. Oh, pardon me. I've not enjoyed it. Like I'm enjoying it, but it's been a bit meh. I don't want, and I do feel like because it's been this one big argument just drags on and on and on because they've not been able to actually like finish a conversation. I don't want that for the next book. Like I really don't want this to then be the whole topic across the next book.
Right, because at some point it stops being a cute will they, won't they?
Yeah.
Stops being a cute will they, won't they, and just starts being a toxic relationship that's off and on again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not fun.
Yeah, for anybody. And I feel like at one point we're gonna have to see them together happily. Which two books deep now. When is that gonna happen? Like, I mean, granted, relationships aren't perfect, but at one point it needs to be. Because so far, they've not had a happy moment since they actually got together.
Oh my god, yeah, I know. They actually haven't.
Yeah, it's been one thing after another. And I feel like it's time now.
They had one happy moment, and it was right before Resson.
Yeah. Then that just got completely overshadowed. I think, I don't know. I think at the same time that I'm looking forward to the next book and like I want to carry on and find out what happens now, I'm kind of over it. And I'm gonna really need the next book to like pick up at a good pace, get me really hooked in, and bring me back out of this, because at the moment I'm really not feeling it.
Right now it just feels like that couple, like that boyfriend that your friend has where you keep telling her to break up with him
Oh my
and
God.
she's like, yeah, I totally should, and then she just doesn't, and you're just like, Everyone is waiting for the two of you to end it. Seriously,
Yeah, no, 100%.
we're sick of like hearing you fight drunk.
Yeah. Oh my god. Imagine if you got those POVs.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, I want Imogen's POV. She's like, for fuck's sake, just break up already.
Yeah, like you are not good together. I'm
No.
not. Yeah, I think the one thing as well that I actually liked about uh, these chapters, and it's not just like it's not like a big discussion point, but it was nice to see Violet and Dain actually working together. Like I know that they had that conversation
Yeah.
about obviously Violet's like, I can't look at you without thinking about Liam and and what happened, but I'm willing to work with you to get through this. And I thought that was nice.
Yeah. I liked that too. I actually thought it was really nice that we got to see a little bit of what the two of them might have been like before Dain entered the Writers' Quadrant. And because obviously this whole time we've had like they've been best friends the whole childhood, like they were like that, they were so strong, and then they fell apart in the first book. But it was nice to really see some evidence of what that whole premise had been built on. So yeah, I did like that actually. I agree.
And that's the only reason why I think that there is a small tiny chance that Dain might come back in the picture. Even though she did say to him that like she is in love with Xaden, I don't think it's hard to get over that kind of stuff, that kind of feeling. If you are best friends with somebody, I think on Dain's part, obviously Violet's like, no, I love Xaden. But also,
I love Xaden.
Yeah. But I also like, I don't think you can like fall out of love with somebody that quickly anyway. And
no, but they can break your heart.
Yeah, God, yeah.
And then you hate them as much as you love them, and then you start to really move on from that moment.
Yeah. And then that's like it's that one thing where when you decide that it's over in your mind, whether you've communicated with the person or not, from that moment on it's over. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, I also hated it. I hated it when he said that as well. I hated it when he was like, and that's it. That's you falling out of love with me right there. I was like, shut up.
Yeah.
This actually isn't about you. Like,
Yeah.
like you're just gonna put that on her as well, are you?
Again,
it's like suddenly fixing it.
Stop trying to manipulate her feelings. Literally, stop trying to
stop making her feel like it's her fault.
Yeah.
If she falls out of love with you right now, that's your fault, buddy. Literally. And it's actually also her choice. Like, to all the Xaden lovers out there, I actually am kind of still shipping them, but just not like this. Not like this. And also, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter how hot somebody is or how, like, many shadows they can daddy or whatever it is. It doesn't matter how much she loves her unconditionally and will do anything for her. She doesn't have to accept it. If she doesn't reciprocate, then he's not entitled to her.
Yeah.
That's her choice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone who was in love with her would be able to have her. Dain could have her too. There you go. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like we got a new side of Xaden, and obviously not we personally, because we knew it was coming and we felt this way anyway. But I feel like Violet has finally realized the kind of level of manipulation that has been happening from his side,
that he's capable of.
Yeah. And she didn't even realize, and like she's just been, happy to be in love, and trust him or try to trust him.
Okay. Red flag, green flag. Sgaeyl keeping Xaden's signet from Tairn.
that's a difficult one because,
Yeah.
and this is what I was gonna say. From Sgaeyl's point, her bond is obviously with Xaden. The same way that Tairn is like, will do anything for Violet, Sgaeyl feels exactly the same. Obviously, we don't get their POV, but she feels exactly the same towards Xaden. If she knows that if this information comes out about his second signet, he will die, she obviously isn't going to say anything. And I think that's a green flag, because she's there to protect him. And obviously she wants to be protected or protect him, whatever. But from a mate perspective and Tairn's side, I would say a red flag, but also at the same time, has Tairn ever lied to Sgaeyl? Like, has he ever said, or has he ever hidden anything from her? I don't think so. So, yeah, maybe it is a red flag.
I guess my question would be, what reason could Sgaeyl possibly have to think that sharing this information with Tairn might lead to bad consequences? Because a genuine question, like, is there some way that another dragon or another rider or anything could somehow take that information from Tairn without his permission? So far, we know of nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to operate on that assumption. From my perspective, I don't see any reason to have kept it from him. But I also think maybe Tairn feels betrayed on Violet's behalf because, as we know, the possibility to manipulate Violet is there. It exists.
Yeah.
And as we know, Tairn cares so much about protecting Violet.
Yeah.
So does he in some way see this as something that has inhibited him from potentially looking out for her best interest? Is that where the sense of betrayal comes from?
Ooh. Yeah.
Or is it just the basic, like, hey, I thought we shared everything and you didn't tell me? Because, I mean, I kind of get it either way. Like, she can be in the doghouse for a bit, but, like, as far as I know, Xaden can't tell what his intentions are. So he's not really got anything to be upset about. Yeah. I certainly think it's an interesting one. I also like how he didn't say anything. He didn't give away any of his own opinions on Violet's thoughts. All he did was say, effectively, why do you doubt your own abilities for deduction when that's what I chose you for?
Yeah.
And he let her work it out on her own. He didn't try and tell her what he thought or try and sway her from her conclusions. He just led her to Xaden, let her pull it out of him.
Yeah.
And then he realized that he didn't know. That was his first reaction.
Yeah.
Because he must have been thinking about it if he was upset.
Yeah, 100%. I think one thing that I really like about Tairn is that no matter where he's at with Sgaeyl, he will not let that affect Violet's relationship with Xaden. Like, they don't cross. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's quite good at separating.
Compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tairn is one of those characters where he gives us so much but so little at the same time.
He says a lot with a little. Yeah. I love that he's you really, you know how you're saying that you felt Solus was like a man with an eye patch. Kind of. I don't know exactly what I would imagine Tairn would be like, but he would definitely be like grumpy middle-aged bloke.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I feel like I've seen stuff online, so I don't want to let that sway
Okay.
Any thoughts, any opinions? 'Cause
Okay.
I kind of just want to see what happens. I just want to enjoy the ride on my own.
Mhm.
But yeah, at the moment, I just feel like everything is up in the air. I don't really trust anybody. I'm not really enjoying it, to be honest. I feel like the only thing in these 10 chapters that like kept me going is the like, are they not gonna fix this? And
Yeah.
it's really upsetting me that I feel this way about this book because I enjoyed the first one so much.
Yeah. Me too. And because this one started so strong, I still remember how my heart was in my mouth when that assassination attempt happened. I was like, I cannot believe
Yeah.
this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Solus briefly though?
Yeah, because what the fuck? Where did he come from? And wait, hold on. I feel like it's just really important to add. So I can't remember where I was or what I was doing. I was reading in bed. So last night when I messaged you being like, is there a chance that Varish is alive? Because I
Oh yeah, I think that was
felt
yesterday.
like something was going to happen and him and Solus was going to return and try to get their revenge. I was wrong in the sense of Varish is not alive, but Solus did come back and try and kill them.
Oh yeah, we knew there was some unfinished business there for sure.
Yeah,
I kind of loved that scene.
Yeah, I was also really proud of Andana for like, holding her ground.
She was so quick. Like she shielded Violet from the fire just so quickly. She knew what to do.
Yeah,
She's a big girl now. She knows.
Yeah,
She was such a badass in that scene. She's still like a little kind of adolescent sized or whatever, but no hesitation. She went straight for the throat. And it was such a good scene in terms of like teamwork as well. I really enjoyed Kat actually turning around and being like, you know what, you saved me, I'm fucking saving you, I'm not having that. Like I liked that. I loved Sloane manifesting her powers in the middle of the scene, but like in kind of a panicky way, which is like she's like you're sucking my power out, and she's like, what? It was so good. I really loved it. It was very like it was a very Sloane moment, wasn't it? It was she was a hot mess. And I was totally here for it.
I love that we got a sort of like brief description, I guess, of what her power actually is as well at the beginning of the chapter. And I'm really excited to see how Sloane's character develop now and what this actually means for her. Because if she's a siphon, like what can she do? What
Anything.
It's mental. Like she could be
She can use other people's powers.
Yeah. Like how in this war that they're clearly about to go on, how is that gonna come to play? And does she have to touch people to suck on their powers and all this? And
but she takes it away, I assume. Like temporarily, she takes the power away. So that's a really double-edged sword.
Because it's an energy thing. But okay, so hear me out. If Violet's power is energetic in the sense of like she can suck the power from anything, could Sloane, does that mean that Violet could be a source of energy and people with like the siphons, like with Sloane's power?
It feels like Violet's power is very much related to electricity specifically. So, I mean, electricity exists everywhere, like even in between the cells in your body. She could do potentially anything with static. She could do anything with lightning. She could restart a heart. she could power something.
Yeah.
We've already seen that she can set fire to things if she wants to. Like, it's a lot. That's a lot of potential. And the Venin, it's pretty obvious now that those are not nightmares. The Venin really do want something from her.
Yeah.
And they're talking about waiting until she comes into her power properly.
Mhm.
It could be exactly like you say. I still haven't given up on the idea that she's going to get a second signet at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that what they're waiting for, or is it for they want her to get good at her powers of electricity first?
Yeah. Yeah. I have those exact same questions. But then also, if she does end up getting a signet, I want to know, who the fuck did Tairn bond with from her family line?
Oh, I just meant because she's got 2 dragons.
Oh, I'm fully at this point assuming that Tairn has bonded with somebody in her family at some point. Because if Andana isn't a full dragon, you know, she's never gonna hold a rider. At this point, I just think that Andana isn't gonna develop a power. So I'm like, if there is a chance of Violet having another signet, it can only, in my brain, it can only come from Tairn.
I think she'll still get one from Andana. That's what I'm going to put my faith in. That she's still going to get one from Andana, and that because no one's ever bonded with 2 dragons before, so nobody actually knows what happens or how this works.
Yeah.
So I think that she'll be the only person that does get a second signet without it having to be that familial bloodline thing.
Yeah. True.
Because at first we briefly entertained that Tairn was originally like Brennan's dragon, I think, for a bit, like way back in book 1. Obviously, that's not true, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody.
Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust the dragon.
Who do we still trust? Who do we still trust? Yeah, Rhiannon. Do you know what?
The 3 musketeers over there, Rhiannon, Sawyer, and Riddick, are like my 3 faves.
Her friends, she's got some good friends there, and they do not get enough airtime.
100%.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Rhiannon, you're 100% right. First person I should have thought of.
Yeah.
I thought Tairn first, actually, to be honest with you. I still trust Tairn. Yeah. I feel like he kept that from her at the end of book 1, and since then he's been like, that's it. I did you wrong there. I should have told you. You were right to be upset. And since then, he's not done anything but the right thing for her, and I'm totally on board. I should Tairn and Violet.
Oh my god.
Sgaeyl's in the doghouse now.
Sack her off.
Back her off. Get rid.
Yeah.
Can Xaden deserve each other at this point?
Oh. Oh.
I should take that back.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's too late. It's out there now.
Wild
it's out
statements.
there now.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's quite a nice segue into character rankings. I asked you to like do some defense of Xaden, but I feel like you're not feeling it either. So here we go.
No,
that's it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I don't think any defense is deserved. To be quite honest with you.
No. We've got a unanimous jury then.
Yeah.
Guilty is charged.
Guilty. Yeah. Okay, I want to start this section. We are doing character ranking. So if you're listening to the audio version, switch now to the video version so that you get the full experience. Oh, I don't even know where to begin, to be honest.
You're just so done with this, aren't you?
Yeah. I want to start.
Can we move Rhiannon up?
Yeah.
Above. Oh, I don't know who to put her above. I feel like she deserves everything.
Does she need to be? I think she needs to be at the same level as Violet, you know? I think she's proven herself to be worthy.
Okay.
And loyal. Obviously, we still think that Tairn and Andana are, like, good. But, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
Cam/Arik has just, like, ceased to exist.
Yeah, at the minute, it's kind of just there, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's still in the good books. Mira.
Yeah.
I really liked Mira's sort of, like, bossy side. in this bit with like their mum and all that. I think she's in the good, like in the right place.
I like Sloane more. I actually want to put her above Jasenia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me why. Maybe I just like the people more I've heard from recently.
Yeah.
What
about Lilith?
I mean, I still bloody love her, and she just gave them Lyra's journal, so she's done more than most people.
I don't think she deserves to be above Jasenia, though. I think she's in a good spot.
Yeah. Okay.
Riddick Sawyer actually think they need to move up.
Do you want to put them both at the top of Rar?
Rar. Yeah.
Rar. I imagine Rar to be like the little noises that baby Andana made. Like,
yeah. Bodhi, Garrick, Dain.
I mean, we're alright with them staying where they are.
Yeah. Actually,
I guess the question. No?
Go on, what's the question?
For me, the main question is what do we do with Xaden?
100% he's moving down in my eyes. He can move to a
I can't with him right now.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
I know. I mean, I think he'll move back up.
Yeah.
Probably by the time we finish the book, but at this stage in the day, I've had it with his shit.
Is he gonna go near Imogen, just at the top?
I don't know. I'll let you decide if you think I'm being too harsh.
Well, I actually think Imogen needs to go up.
All right.
I think.
What's she done that's been so great? Eh?
I think she's been like a positive part of the group, you know?
She's been like a neutral part of the group at best.
Yeah.
She's always there to just
help, you know?
Just like offer a sarky remark every time somebody's having a good time.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to put her like, yeah. Well,
you know, you're right. She probably deserves to be above Professor Carr.
Yeah. So far, that's kind of where she needs to live.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm happy with Adorable Disaster, to be honest. I can't with you. Yeah. Exactly the same. I feel like now we've had a few more bad guys. We need to maybe like readjust our scale of what is I can't with you and what is a plague on both your houses. Like I know Oren left us a while ago, but I feel like he's just not in the same league as some of these guys. So I wouldn't mind putting him under Amber. Okay.
Just in the I can't with you pile.
Okay.
And honestly, like Cat, I feel like Cat does need to move.
Oh, right, okay. I think she's an adorable disaster.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there for now. I mean, frankly, it's like having a second Imogen. I still think, as far as I can tell so far, there has been absolutely no need for her to exist. She doesn't bring anything new.
Yeah.
She's not vital to the plot. And we've already got an Imogen.
Yeah, exactly. Go away. So I'm happy there. I'm happy with her there.
Okay.
Everyone else I'm kind of happy with.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing really happened where I've been like, besides Xaden.
Yeah. Yeah, besides him. Our opinions haven't changed. Our opinions haven't really changed drastically on any particular point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go then.
Happy. I'll save that again.
Second to last episode. And those are the character rankings as they stand.
Amazing.
How the mighty have fallen.
Go on, I'm so ready for these.
Red flag, green flag. Aretia's refusal to help Navarre.
I really don't. Wait, I really hope that this doesn't come to bite them in the ass. However, I don't trust Malgreen. I don't
That's
trust
going to be
him.
my next question. Yeah.
I don't trust him. So I think it's a green flag. They're standing on their ground. However, it's only going to be worth it if they manage to get these freaking wards sorted.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say it's a red flag.
Oh.
I can't figure out whether or not I would have trusted Malgrin there, but I always think it's still in their best interests to aid them. Any ground lost from the wards to Brennan at this point is like a point of no return.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, since when are we going to suggest that the civilians need to pay for this? I'm 100% on side with Violet. Like, you've just got to accept that you've got an enemy in common at this point and deal with the rest later.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I understand why they did it and why they said no.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with Violet. I do think, like, thinking about the civilians and not the people at Sgaeyl, for example. I also thought that was a really cute moment with their mum and a big slap in her face, and she really needed that, to be honest. So, yeah.
Oh,
Nah.
Should we just let's move on to my next one. Red flag, green flag. Brennan revealing himself to his mother.
Big fucking green flag. I have been waiting for this moment. At first I didn't think it was going to be there. However, I thought it was iconic. I think he should have waited. Ideally, the way that I imagined he was going to like appear to his mum was going to be like during battle, and he's just going to rock up, you know? It was just going to fly in with his dragon, and she was going to be like, holy crap, that's Brennan. But that, I thought that was really freaking good. I really enjoy that. I thought she deserved everything she had. Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Sorry. The fluff in my mouth. I feel like that was a really important moment to highlight, you know, the betrayal that she's obviously has hidden from everyone at this point with the Venom and the just like with beforehand in terms of like hiding the fact that Venom and Wyvern or whatever they're called exists outside and there's this whole war, and she's literally was willing to like send her child to die, or children, because obviously they all went through the riders quadrant or whatever, to become riders and basically like go off on this war, or just pretend that this war, I don't know. I thought it was an iconic moment. I thought she really needed that moment. I thought, like I said, I didn't think that he was gonna rock up that way, but I think I was just being petty, and I was like, no, she really needed to see him alive, and it was time.
I'm not saying I think she deserves. I'm not saying I don't think she deserves bad things for the role that she's played politically so far, because we've already established that she's on the wrong side. I'm just not sure that she deserves that from any of her children specifically, given that everything she's done has been to keep them alive, be damned with the consequences. She's basically to them what Xaden is to Violet. So I'm not entirely sure that the punishment fits the crime for me, and I guess that's where the question came from, because I was like, he was basically being like, fuck you, in your face, I'm alive actually.
Yeah.
And like, I don't necessarily consider her responsible for his death or her perception of it.
We don't really know, do we? Like, we don't really know.
No, but also at the same time, he's not really mad at her for any of that. He's pissed at her for being on the wrong side, and he's using the fact that he's alive and hidden that from her, hurt her, as revenge for that. And that's why I had the question, because it wasn't really aligned to me. It was a bit of a weird thing. Like, obviously, she would have rather that he was alive and had never died.
Yeah.
And we could argue that he's more responsible for his dad's death than she is for his.
Yeah.
So it was all a little grey area for me, which is why I think it's really interesting. It wasn't a red flag per se, but it was.
You can't have an amber. Yeah.
I can't say beige, but it was certainly a weird one.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I get it. I get why it happened then.
Mm-hmm.
I get where like the kids were coming from. And again, you have to remember that they're all stupidly young and they're like,
well, he's in his 30s.
Yeah, but you know.
No excuse.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm also going to say I do actually think it's a red flag, because I think it was a stupid move. He was safer before. What's he done that for now?
Exactly. Like, I don't think they should have revealed him then and there, because they had.
Yeah. What was the benefit of that?
Weapon. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Did none of them? Did like Melgrin and that lot? Did none of them remember what he looked like? Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to say red flag just because of the stupidity, which I feel like he's not particularly known for. But it was certainly a reality TV moment.
Oh, yeah. That is so true.
And those are my red flag, green flags.
Yay! Right, okay.
I am ready. I am actually ready for a good finale. I know that we've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with this book, but I am ready to have a finale. I'm excited to see how all this is going to culminate. We don't have much left, and it feels like there's still so many possibilities. Like this time in the last book, I know we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, obviously, but we had the shapes of it. Like, I think we were basically saying that we were going to find out what Xaden's secret was. Yeah. And it was going to be the big twist, and we were going to realize that Xaden could hurt Violet, even though she thought he never would. And all that really happened just, obviously it was still a massive bombshell, the way that it landed, and it really did land very quickly. So I'm really ready for not another twist, because I feel like we've had enough of them, but just to see some of this kind of finally come to fruition, and at least one of the things that we know this has been leading up to have been dealt with by the end of this book. Yeah, definitely. I need some action. I need something. Mm-hmm. I need the actual plot. Yeah. And not just, I can't believe I'm saying this because it's a freaking romance book, but like I actually want more of the fantasy. I'm ready. Yeah, 100%. I guess we can end it here. And next week's episode will be the finale. The real finale this time. The real finale, yeah. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today, for listening, for watching, and we hope to see you soon. Yeah. See you soon. Join us as we read and react to Fourth Wing for the first time. Find out if I loved it, if Jessica hated it, who's hot, who's not. We'll also be doing other fun things like character rankings, fuck, marry, kill, would you rather, and answering your questions. Follow us across social media at don'ttell_the_boys. And finally, please rate our podcast after you decided you like it.